In today's video, we're going to break down two special teams plays from this past weekend of college football. The first being Illinois' fake punt against Michigan early in the third quarter, and then the second is Maryland's field goal block against USC that set up the Terrapins' game-winning drive. We're going to start with Illinois' fake punt, and there's a couple things that I want to go ahead and talk about, point out things that you might not have noticed or weren't talked about in the broadcast. So first things first, Robertson, number 19, he is the punter for Illinois. He's right-footed. And so Illinois runs rugby punts with him running to the right. And because of that, you can see that Illinois has three blockers up on the line, three members of the punt team. They're to the long snappers right. They're there to help block and really extend that defensive line of Michigan for the rugby punt. And then what would happen as well is you'd have the wall. They would all roll to their right to help pick up anybody on a free release. They only have one blocker to the left of the long snapper, and then you've got the two gunners out here, and there's a gunner out here as well. So how would this typically kind of be blocked? To be blocked something like this, what you would have is you'd have the gunners. They're just going to go get down there and make the play on the punt returner. Same with the long snapper. He's going to snap. He's not going to engage anybody. He's just going to go ahead as well. Typically in this look, he's going to go downfield to help as well. So you've got three that are trying to get down and make the tackle on the punt returner. So what you would have is you'd have a down block right here, probably have a down block right here, down block right here. And then what you would have is you would have the wall who's coming out. He's going to kick out right here. You would have the wall who's stepping across. Make sure anybody who's coming up the middle as they come across, they would be able to pick up any of the free releasers that would be coming up the middle like you would see right here, right here. You might see this blocker actually come down and try and get to here, and then the wall would pick up the backside, but that's a pretty far way for that blocker to go. So most likely, instead of going down, he's probably just going to go ahead and engage right here. And like I said, they'll leave those two to be free runners to the wall. The wall will pick them up. That's typically when I coached before and been in a system. They usually will leave somebody. They'll leave people for the wall to pick up on purpose so that someone can get downfield and tackle the punt returner. And then basically this would be the one free player coming off the edge, but because he's coming from the punter's left and the punter is running to his right on a rugby punt, he's not going to get there in time, hopefully, to make the block. So basically they're setting up as though, hey, we're doing our rugby punt. We're doing our rugby punt that we've done to the right. And because of that, they have influenced how Michigan is aligning to them. So if you look at it, Michigan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. They have 5 defenders to the offense's right, to the punt team's right, the punt return team's left. And so because of that, remember, the fastest way is if your kicker's rolling to the right, direct route to him. So they're going to have more that are going to try and come and get in the kicker's face as he's punting the ball. And so because of that, you'll notice that there's only 1, 2, 3 to the left of the long snapper. So they have, by alignment, really influenced Michigan into setting up this fake, because what you're going to have happen is you're basically going to have down block here. The long snapper will engage slightly, but he's not really making the block. He's going to be downfield trying to help lead block, basically. We're going to get a kick out. We're going to get a kick out here. It's almost like duo in a sense, where we're getting a down block and then a kick out. And then the ball is going to be snapped to Arkin, who's going to go right up the hole. The blockers to the right, they're all going to step down. They're going to try and prevent anybody from coming inside of them to cut off the tight end. And they want to let these two out here, these two be free rushers, because Robertson is going to carry out his fake as though he has the ball and to influence them. And you'll see that it does slow down one of those free rushers for just a half second, and then they're in the chase position. So we'll run the play. You can see right there, not the greatest block, but it's enough to kind of force number 97 for Michigan to go inside and around the down block. And he's too late because Arkin gets through. And it's just a really well-designed play. They have set Michigan up by what they've been doing with this rugby-style punt to set them up so that there's only 3 to one side, and you're going to have 3 blockers. So it's 3v3. And if everybody gets their blocks, there's no one there to fill the gap to stop the run play. and that's why it becomes a 36-yard gain for Illinois. It's a great time to call it as well. Early in the third quarter, they're probably feeling like, hey, we've really dominated most of the first half, but unfortunately, Michigan is they're within one score of us, and we're supposed to punt the ball back. Changes momentum, gets Illinois back in. They go get a touchdown on this play, and basically from then on, control the game for the rest of the game, rest of the second half. So, but I just wanted to point that out again. By alignment, by setting everything up, they have prepared Michigan for this fake punt, and it was a great design of it. We're going to talk about Maryland's field goal block right now, so let's go ahead and get right into that. Okay, so a lot like the Illinois fake punt, there's a couple things that I want to go ahead and talk about, point out with regards to this play that's happening pre-snap. USC's kicker, he's a right-footed kicker. The ball is on the right hash, but where does the ball have to go? It has to go to the left, to the kicker's left, to get through the uprights. So ball's on the right hash, he's a right-footed kicker, but the ball is going to have to go to his left. So because of that, Maryland is going to overload USC's left side. You can see right here that Maryland has six defenders to rush that side. What they're trying to do is they are trying to really get through, because it's a shorter distance to where the kick is going to go, the direction of it, because remember, kick's going to the left. So if they come from the field goal team's left, it's a short distance to get it. So they have overloaded this side. And that's exactly what's going to happen. What you're going to see on the play when it runs is you're going to see that let me make sure I have this right, number 9 and number 4, who are right here. This is number 9. That's Donnell Brown. And then Ruben Hippolyte II. He's right here. He's number 4. These are the two that are going to basically make the play. What you're going to have is you're going to have a punch by both of them right here on the tight end of USC. You're going to have a punch right there on him to knock him back. And this tackle for USC, he's going to be engaged with the defender that's closest to inside. And so it's going to open up a seam right in here for Donnell Brown to get through, to then go in and make the block. That is what you're going to see when the play runs. So let's go ahead and run it. Get that knockback through and the block. Let me go back a little bit, rewind, and we'll watch the full play again. Don't worry. But again, we're going to have this happen. Tight end gets knocked back. The tackle, he's taking the inside gap because he has to protect that inside gap. Doesn't want to let anyone through. So he's doing his job to protect that inside gap. Tight end's too high. He's getting knocked back. It allows Donnell to get through to make the block. And one more time, just so you guys can see it. Again, knock back, open up that space. Donnell lays out. Good job at not getting too close to the kicker, makes the block. And then we have the fun with a fumble. Then we have the recovery. It's a crazy play, but it's really well done by Maryland. So here's the other thing that I want you to notice. USC is balanced. USC has 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're even on both sides of the long snapper. So what could they have done differently? Well, and this is hard to know at the time. It's hard to criticize. But generally speaking, what you might see is you might be expecting that overload to that side, especially if you're on the hash, because the ball has to go that direction. If they had been on the left hash, Maryland probably would have overloaded the field goal team's right to try and get there, because again, the ball would have to go to the right. So they're trying to cut it off, get closer, more direct distance. In the past, when I've been on a team, we've just flipped over the guard to help make and stretch out that defense, get an extra blocker there, which would force this defense to really widen out. Then you have an extra person to help take that inside, prevent anyone from being able to prevent what's happening that you see here, because there's an extra blocker. You would have had someone extra to help take on Donnell instead and prevent that from being done. But it didn't. Maryland gets the block, then they drive down, get the game-winning score, and that's the game. So that's the purpose of this video. I just wanted to point out how both teams did what they did with regards to special teams. It's really good coaching. They prepared. They've worked on it. You can tell that Maryland has worked on that type of a play at all times. And maybe they notice that, hey, USC doesn't move someone over, especially on longer kicks, to help out, especially from the hashes, to prevent, someone from cutting through. But they took advantage of it, overloaded one side, got the gap that they needed, and got the block. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. Let me know your thoughts down below with regards to these two plays. What do you think? If you enjoy these videos, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time, though. Have a great rest of the day. I do want to recognize the members of this channel at the booster level and above for their support. If you wish to have your name in a video just like this, make sure to check out the join link in the description below. Here on the end screen, you can see that there's another recommended video. Make sure to click that and watch it. Also, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future breakdown videos. I hope you have a great rest of the day.